For nearly a century, the mystery of Andrew Irvine and George Mallory has captivated the world. Were they the first to reach the summit of Mount Everest, or did they disappear forever in the icy heights of the mountain without realizing their dream? In June 1924, the two British climbers made one final attempt to make history, but since then, both they and the truth about their fate have remained lost. Now in 2024,
the discovery of remains on Mount Everest could help solve a mystery involving climbers who died during their mission.
A groundbreaking discovery has once again shocked the mountaineering community. Has Mount Everest's 100-year mystery finally been solved? But first, let's begin where it all started. Andrew Cummins Sandy Irvine was born on April 8, 1902, in Birkenhead, England. From an early age, he demonstrated exceptional physical prowess and technical expertise. At Shrewsbury School, he made a name for himself as a brilliant rower, which earned him a place at the University of Oxford in 1921. There, he studied engineering and joined the Oxford University Mountaineering Club. His technical expertise, particularly in working with complex machinery and oxygen systems, made him indispensable for future expeditions. Despite his young age, Andrew had already been part of several notable expeditions. In 1923, he participated in the Merton College expedition to Spitsbergen, where he made a strong impression. This proved to be a pivotal moment in his mountaineering career. His successful participation in this expedition led him to being recommended for the 1924 British Everest expedition. At the same time, George Mallory was already an experienced veteran in climbing Mount Everest. Born on June 18, 1886, George was one of the pioneers in exploring routes to the summit. He had taken part in the British expeditions of 1921 and 1922, where he gained valuable knowledge about the challenges of Everest. Although these earlier attempts had not reached the summit, they were crucial in mapping the mountain and gathering important information. George was impressed by Andrew's technical skills and determination, particularly his ability to handle oxygen equipment, which was essential at high altitudes. Despite his limited experience at extreme altitudes, Andrew was selected as a crucial member of the team due to his past achievements and technical expertise. Expectations for the expedition were high following the failed attempts in 1921 and 1922. George's experience and Andrew's technical capabilities gave the team renewed hope. Together, they formed a strong duo, determined to reach the summit of Everest. With everything prepared, the climbers made their way toward the greatest challenge of their lives. On June 6, 1924, Andrew and George left Camp 6 for the historic climb to the top. "It will be a great adventure," George wrote to his mother before he left. On June 8, their fellow climber Noel Odell, who was positioned lower on the mountain, saw through a break in the clouds in what he described as two black dots moving towards the summit. He spotted the two climbers just below the second step, a notorious technical obstacle at an altitude of approximately 8,610 meters. This is one of the last major challenges before reaching the summit of Everest. Shortly afterward, the clouds closed in again, and that was the last time George and Andrew were seen alive. Despite hope that they had reached the summit, their fate remained a mystery due to bad weather and the eerie silence after June 8th. After their disappearance, an intense search was conducted for clues. Noel found important evidence in Camps 5 and 6, including George's compass and oxygen bottles. These findings suggested potential problems with the oxygen equipment, which might have slowed their ascent. Whether they actually reached the summit remains one of the greatest mysteries in mountaineering history. Some believe that they may have reached the top and ran out of oxygen during the descent, while others think exhaustion or a fall proved fatal. In the years following their disappearance, several search expeditions were organized. The first concrete evidence was found only in 1933, when Andrew's ice axe was discovered just below the first step on Everest's northeast ridge. Although this discovery sparked new speculation, the mystery remained unsolved, as no bodies were found. On May 1, 1999, during an expedition led by the American climber Conrad Anker, The body of George Mallory was discovered at an altitude of approximately 8,155 meters on the north face of Mount Everest. Due to the cold, dry conditions on the mountain, the remains were remarkably well preserved. His injuries indicated that he had fallen while still tied to Andrew. "I knew at once that he'd been tied to his partner and that he'd taken a long fall," said Conrad. George's right leg was severely broken, while his uninjured left leg had been carefully placed over the fracture, suggesting that he did not die immediately after the fall. A dark pair of snow goggles was found in his pocket, fueling the theory that the fall may have occurred during their descent in the evening. The photo of his wife, which he had planned to leave at the summit, was not found on his body. The most crucial piece of evidence, the Kodak camera that Andrew was believed to have carried, was never found. If the camera is ever discovered, its contents could possibly reveal whether the duo reached the summit. Andrew's whereabouts, however, remained unknown, a mystery that intrigued generations of climbers and researchers. Nearly a century after Andrew's disappearance, in September 2024, a National Geographic expedition led by filmmaker and mountaineer Jimmy Chin made an unexpected, groundbreaking discovery that shed new light on this age-old mystery. On the north side of Everest, near the central Rongbuk Glacier, the team stumbled upon partially preserved human remains encased in ice. The find included an old leather boot and a sock with the embroidered initials A.C. Irvine, an unmistakable sign that these were Andrew's remains. Although the remains were incomplete, they confirmed that Andrew had fallen from a significant height, likely during the descent after an unsuccessful attempt to reach the summit. The exact location suggests that the duo was trying to descend when disaster struck. The discovery of Andrew's remains had a profound impact on both the expedition team and his family. For Jimmy Chin and his team, it was a monumental and emotional moment, particularly due to the historical significance and the symbolism of closing a nearly century-old mystery. As Jimmy put it, "Sometimes in life the greatest discoveries occur when you aren't even looking." He chose to keep the exact location secret to prevent trophy hunters from disturbing the site, adding, "This was a monumental and emotional moment for us and our entire team on the ground, and we just hope this can finally bring peace of mind to his descendants and the climbing world at large." Julie Summers, Andrew's niece, was deeply moved by the discovery and provided DNA material to definitively confirm that the remains were indeed Andrew's. She described the discovery with reverence. "It's an object that belonged to him and has a bit of him in it." Although she was glad about the find, she acknowledged that these might be the only remains ever discovered, given the harsh conditions on the mountain. As she noted, it tells the whole story about what probably happened. Jimmy's team also searched the area for further clues, hoping to shed more light on the final moments of Andrew and George. Although the camera was not found, this discovery has reignited hope for answers and spurred renewed speculation within the mountaineering community. Julie Summers expressed her hope that the camera might still be found. "I have lived with this story since I was a 7-year-old when my father told us about the mystery of Uncle Sandy on Everest," she said. "When Jimmy told me that he saw the name A.C. Irvine on the label on the sock inside the boot, I found myself moved to tears. It was and will remain an extraordinary and poignant moment." Despite this breakthrough, the question of whether Andrew and George were the first to reach the summit remains unanswered. In the absence of definitive evidence, such as photos from Andrew's camera, the mountaineering community remains divided. Some argue that their last known location suggests that they were close to the summit, while others believe that without clear proof, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay, who reached the summit almost 30 years later in 1953, should retain the honor of being the first climbers to successfully conquer Everest. Though the discovery of Andrew's remains in 2024 offers a crucial piece of the puzzle, the ultimate mystery endures. Did Andrew and George reach the summit? While the mountaineering community continues to speculate about what exactly happened that day, one thing is certain: their courage and perseverance will forever inspire climbers around the world.